If I may respond, the Kerner Commission, established by President Johnson in 1967, said that there were two societies, one black, one white, one rich, one poor. And the Kerner Commission gave specific recommendations that had to be followed if America believed in integration. 20 years after that, a group of scientists got together to see what the progress was. And the progress is that we have a larger middle class, but the masses of black people have gone backward. And the country is not only separate and unequal, but in worse condition today than it was then. So I don't think, Mr. Donahue, you should put it on me that I've given up. America has never believed in integration. Never. Never.
Mr. Farrakhan, I can't really stand up and jump up and down and say, shame on you for this feeling. I really can't. The evidence is overwhelming. Overwhelming. 1 in 4 black males either in jail or under the tutelage of the prison system. And so I'm here to say that it hurts me to think about this, but I think I have a responsibility to understand how a lot of smart people would get to this place. America is not interested in integration. If that's the case, why are you even bothering to suggest that you're interested in it? Why not make your statement more in fact and without qualification? And if America has not been interested in integration, I assume you feel it never will be, certainly not in your lifetime. So why don't you proceed then from that point of view and tailor your speeches accordingly?
It's deeper than that, Mr. Donahue. We have a stake here. We have helped to build this country. When the Civil War broke out, supposedly, Mr. Lincoln wanted to free the slaves, but according to his own words, he really didn't care whether America had slaves or not. He really wanted to save the Union. Black soldiers fought on the side of the North and the South. The Union was saved, but we were not.
Yeah.
We have done what every citizen should do, but we have gotten nothing from it. So America is in trouble. And we believe we have a solution to the problem. And if the solution is good for black people, it's good for America.
Yeah. With time fleeting, what is the solution?
If we are already separate but unequal, and there is not the will on the part of the United States government, nor is there a national will to reconcile the differences between black and white.
You say if. You don't believe there is.
No, I don't.
All right. Well,
I really don't.
Okay, let's not qualify it then.
But when I say if, I'm speaking now for those who might think there is that possibility.
Well, why mollify them? Why patronize them? Why accommodate them if that's not what you feel?
I don't wish for them at this point to feel that their thinking is discredited. But if in the course of this discourse and in the face of the overwhelming evidence that America really doesn't want black people, then look, let's tally up what is owed to us. Let's sit down and talk about a just solution, and I tell you, like Moses said to Pharaoh, let us go and do something for ourselves.
Hello good people, welcome back to my channel. This is Awaken Africa and I'm your host Demo. So on our today's video, we're going to dive into a very educational topic and this is about institutionalized racism. And I bumped into a video by Minister Louis Farrakhan who was having an interview with Philly Donahue at his talk show in the early 90s, and he was trying to draw this picture and give emphasis on the effects of institutionalized racism. And for those who don't understand, or for those who don't know the meaning of institutionalized racism is, it refers to the systemic perpetuation of discrimination based on race by political, economic, and legal institution systems, right? So most of the times, this form of racism, it shows itself, or it manifests through policies and practices whereby a certain group or race faces a continued and unfair advantage over other people. You know, for instance, Mr. Louis Farrakhan was talking about the black people, how they've been facing this institutionalized racism. You know, there is unfair distribution of resources compared to their white counterparts. So he was talking about something to do with integration, whereby he was saying America is not ready for integration, right? America itself thrives on division, black and the white people, right? The rich and the poor people, the educated and the uneducated. It thrives in division, so it cannot embrace integration. And this this way we come to realize that it promotes institutionalized racism. All right, black people don't get equal chances or opportunities as compared to their white counterparts. All right, so you'll see that these black people, they are the ones who have been locked up the most in these correctional centers or jails, right? They are the ones who depend on their social welfare. Black people are always crying for more, right? And they forget that, the white folks forget that the black community was heavily involved in building of America. I don't want to talk much about it, but I would like us to watch this video by Minister Louis Farrakhan first before I come back with my commentary. But before that, kindly, if you're new to this channel, make an effort of hitting the subscribe button. Kindly take us to 100 subscribers, right? And then after that, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, share, and turn on post notifications so that every time I post a new video, you'll be the first person to get notified to watch it. Let us get down to the video.
Okay, so let me understand this now. We're going to come up with several billion, I assume, huh?
I don't think this is the appropriate forum.
Well, no, I'm just trying
discuss.
to. I don't either, but I'm just trying to find out. Reparations not unlike, but certainly more substantial than those that were voted for the Japanese who were interned in World War II. Money which incidentally has yet to be forthcoming to them. Approved but not expended. Okay, I get that. Now, where are you going? Are you going then back to the homeland? Are you going back to the African continent? Is that your idea?
You know, again, all of these black people here have a stake here. We have a stake here, I think, that is more valid than those who just came here a few years ago. These are the children of those who built this. So, yes, we can go there or we can stay here. If we stay here, then why not separate and give to the children of those who built this country land and reparations that we may go and do something for ourselves. Now, I did mention however, that there is the possibility of some of us returning to Africa. Africa is in need of the scholarship that we have gained from our sojourn in America. And just as England let go some of her convicts who had no hope, languishing in prisons, to help build this, and just as Britain let go of her convicts to build Australia and New Zealand, we have 609,000 black young men behind prison bars with no hope at all. Since we have the ability to reform them, let us reform them. Give us our title. Look, wait, just 1 minute. Since Africa had a part in our coming here, for it was some African brothers of ours who helped to sell us. And there were some Arabs who had a part in it. There were some Jews who had a part in it. There were some Europeans who had a part in it, but the death blow was dealt by the slave masters here in what is called now the United States. So since we didn't give up our right to Africa, then why should not we petition our own kith and kin to set apart for the children of the slaves certain land and territory that some of us, particularly those who have no hope whatsoever in the society, let them go to begin to build a new reality for themselves and for their people.
In the homeland, in the land from which their kith and kin originated, and from which they came. Now, those who choose not then to go to Africa.
Again, they have as much right here as you do.
Well, but wait a minute. We've got a deal here. We're letting people out of jail.
Yeah.
Well, that does complicate it just a little bit. Where do I, assuming that not all the brothers will wish to return to Africa, obviously I do not presume to speak for them, but it's not unreasonable to assume that not all of them want to go. Is it your notion that there should be an area within the continental United States to establish a nation, a separate nation?
If we agree that these brothers and sisters of ours can't get any justice within the social, political, and economic order that you call the United States.
You said if. You don't think they can.
Why shouldn't we be separated in a state or territory of our own?
Because then there's this imaginary line. You get some sheriff down there chewing mail pouch, and we've discussed this before.
But look.
All of a sudden, somebody starts holding hands with somebody else at the drive-in theater, and then the racist words are heard in the night, and there goes the neighborhood. Come on, you can't possibly expect.
You can't trivialize the cry for justice. Right. Now, it was not impossible for England, France, America, and the United Nations to take land from the Palestinians and settle Jews in a state of their own, giving hope to oppressed Jews all over the world. Why should there be this trivialization of a desire on the part of black people, since we have not made it here, to go and do something for ourselves? We as black people have to provide a future for our people, for the government, and white people are not providing a future for us. So it is wrong for us to stay around laying at the foot of white people like the Bible's Lazarus, begging for crumbs that fall from their table when we can go and make a table of our own.
Minister Farrakhan, when you suggest, I'll just take a minute here, when you suggest that I trivialize your proposal, you speak to an attitude that I didn't present, far from trivializing it. I am merely asking you to consider the consequences of an isolated island of African Americans within the community that we now call the United States of America. And you use the state of Israel to support your notion and its practical possibilities. And yet you feel that Israel was immoral and unfair to Palestinians in its declaration of statehood in 1948.
But
So
you
now
had the
what?
will to take land from Palestinians. We have a more natural right to land in Africa or land here than the Jews had to
Okay.
Palestine.
Okay.
And if you could do that for them, sir, with all due respect, why is it so silly to think that we now should be some isolated ghetto? We can be isolated in the ghetto, but we can't be together in unity.
I didn't say
building
that.
a nation. No, you didn't say that, but I'm saying it. You think that we're going off into some isolation.
Well, where will it be? Where will it be? You want...
Well, that's something we have to discuss.
Yeah?
We have to negotiate that.
Yeah, yeah. Let me, may I ask you for some brief commentary on this before our break this audience wants in here? You agree with Ronald Reagan that the welfare state creates a slave mentality, do for me, and is a kind of sleeping pill for the recipients, regardless of color. Do I understand you correctly?
You understand Mr. Reagan correctly. But a welfare mentality was created when my fathers and mothers were made slaves and robbed of the knowledge of themselves and dependent totally on a slave master for food, clothing, and shelter. So that when we were so-called set free by the 13th Amendment, we didn't have the mentality of a free people to go and do for ourselves. So we turned right back around and volunteered our services for not free labor, but so close to free labor. So now Mr. Reagan says, we don't want welfare because it leads to dependence. We already have been made dependents, but he uses that as an excuse to cut back on what he was already giving to the people and then never providing the safety net that he said he would put under those that he cut off. That is injustice, and it only compounds the evil.
In your interview with the Washington Post, you said, among other things, some Jews, and they shared with their readers the entire transcript, everything you said.
No.
No?
Oh,
they
no.
edited it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, well.
But I can't say that these are not my words. And
No,
I
they
thank
are.
the Post for what they did.
Over a full
But
page.
my interview would have been probably 6 pages.
Okay. Some Jews have been, you say, some Jews have been responsible for characterizing black people as clowns and buffoons, using the movie industry to get that message over. This is a dialogue you're having. You say you on an island with Brock Peters. He's shooting a movie and a Jewish producer. I don't, did he tell you he was Jewish, or did you just...
Oh, yes, sir.
He said, I'm Jewish producer. You make the point that he says to you, you know, when we feel some danger, when we feel something, we get together and we essentially create screenwriters. The creative community does things to ensure, to set things right. You're suggesting that the guy felt he could manipulate, and you believe he could too. You're coming very close to saying that you know, that Jews control the media.
Oh.
But I want you to answer me this. Some Jews have been responsible for characterizing black people as clowns and buffoons, using the movie industry to get that message over. What do you think of Eddie Murphy?
Okay.
Let me just remind this audience, this is the #1 box office star in the wealthiest free market democratic system in the history of the universe.
Eddie Murphy is my brother. And I love him as a brother. And whatever criticism I have for Eddie Murphy, I would say that directly to him, and I wouldn't use this show to do that. But I think it's not to be diminished to Eddie Murphy. But if you look at the black man's self-image, the black woman's self-image, that image is created for us through centuries of miseducation. Now, if I, as a black person, or we as black person, do not have a healthy respect for ourselves, then we cannot expect anyone else to show respect for us unless we have respect for ourselves. But we cannot respect what we don't know. And so there's a crime of omission and a crime of commission that robbed black people of a knowledge of self that would cause us to love ourselves and love one another.
So you're not thrilled then with, for example, the kind of stand-up work that Mother Effer, nigger, he used the word nigger often. I'm asking you.
No, I am not thrilled to see not only Eddie Murphy, but there are many white comedians who use the same foul language and feed the American public as though the American public are human pigs who can only feel good when somebody is purveying filth and decadence over the radio, the television, and through the movies. And I think whether it's black or white, it is wrong, and it is bringing America down, down, down. And personally, I would hope that managers and those in show business would use our God-given talent in a much better way than to promote filth and decadence. I think that America has too much of that, and again, she's in trouble because of it.
Yes, ma'am. You'll be brief, I know.
I am so sick and tired of this chip that you're carrying on your shoulder. We have bent over backwards. We have done backflips to make you feel equal. And yet, we've done everything. A perfect example is in the federal government. If you and I get the exact same rating for a position, do you know what? You get it. And do you know why? Because you're black. Is that fair? Is that fair to me?
Briefly, do you want to speak to that?
There is a woeful lack of understanding, not only in the black community, but really in the white community, of why black people are in the condition that we're in, and why all of the efforts that whites have made and government has made to try to solve the problem in the way that government sees fit has not really worked. And blacks are still crying out for more and more and more. And I realize that this is an irritant to white people because you really don't understand. And it's not really your fault. It's not really your fault, you just don't understand. But I think if you gave yourself a chance to hear what happened to these black people that makes them as they are as an irritant to you and those who think you have done the best you could. And maybe you have, but I respectfully suggest to you that there's so much more that could be done, that should be done, and that must be done if America is to survive. Believe me.
Esquire magazine, on your stand now, an outfit I have no personal interest or professional monetary interest in. Pete Hamill writes about racism going to college. Brown University, the alma mater of Amy Carter, a highly regarded institution. Niggers Go Home was found in an elevator, a sign. Men and women were crossed out in lavatory doors, replaced by whites and niggers. The Ku Klux Klan is recruiting at Brown University. This is not to embarrass Brown. It is to say that anybody who thinks we've gotten somewhere is not reading the newspaper. Yes.
I would like to know, as a mother and a grandmother, what can we do to instill in our children coming up? The older ones, we can't do anything with them, but the little ones is coming out. What can we do as mothers to help? Because we can't leave America. We have our roots here. We would like to stay, but we would like to make it a better America.
If we wish to make our children better, one of the things we have to do is to teach them the knowledge of themselves. As a little boy, my blessed mother kept instilling in me the love and the pride of being black. She made me to know my history, to know my roots. So I grew up with a love for myself and secure within myself, never feeling inferior and certainly not feeling superior, but that chip on the shoulder that the young lady spoke about is my self-assurance, my confidence, my ability to speak the truth without fear. I don't bend when I don't have to. I don't scratch where I don't itch. I look white people in the eye and speak honestly and truthfully and candidly and unhypocritically to you. That's not a chip. That's just self-assurance that comes from self-knowledge. Teach your children that, and whether we are here or there, we'll be able to make a future for ourselves.
Hello good people, welcome back to the channel. This is Awakening Africa, and I want us to have a discussion about whatever Minister Louis Farrakhan was having a conversation during his interview with Donahue. And it is true to say that black people have been massively involved in building of America, but why is it that when it comes into giving back, all right, the black folks always find themselves at the periphery? They don't get these equal chances. They are the last ones to be considered. That's why they're always asking for more, because they had a stake in building of America. They saved America. They made America great. But why is it that we, the black people, are always sidelined, right? And why is it that the white folks don't want us to ask for what is rightful ours? Because, of course, black folks have a stake in America, right? So, Farrakhan talks about black people being allowed to pursue greatness on their own and achieve their greatest potential, which is absolutely true, right? Because you'll find that something crazy with institutionalized racism, it will not allow a certain group of people to thrive over the other, right? That is why you'll find that you being a black person in America, there is one way already you are disadvantaged in terms of getting these opportunities, right? Racism is still there, and I don't preach I don't preach about racism, or rather than promoting it, but I condemn it, just like Mr. Louis Farrakhan was talking about in the video, as you've seen, right? So it's high time black folks are allowed to pursue their dreams and achieve their greatest potential. Because if you let black people, the children of those who built America, to be given a chance to rebuild themselves, just like Britain did to its convicts and gave them an opportunity in Australia. For those who know history, they know that the people who built Australia were convicts in Britain, so they were given a second chance to go and build their life. So Farrakhan was asking, is it possible? Can we please come and have a sit down so that we agree that, all right, black folks, you guys helped us, you guys helped us build America. So we are allowing you to go to we are giving you this piece of land, build your own country, build your own dreams and potential, achieve whatever you guys want to achieve in your lives. Because that is like understanding that America, of course, America was not built by one person. It was not built by the white folks. In fact, black people who were slaves in America, they built America without, they were just living at the mercy of their slave masters, right? And for instance, excuse me, I see no need to let black folks suffer and languish in poverty, living at the mercy of the white people, yet they can be given a chance to start what is theirs. Why is it that we have this social welfare? Social welfare, of course, was brought about by slavery, because these people, remember that they have been living in slavery for over 300 years, right? And then out of nowhere, you're telling them that they are free. Yes, they are free physically, but mentally and emotionally, they are not free. So what are they going to do? These people definitely, they will turn back to their master. Master, what are we going to do? And that is the problem with institutionalized racism. You come back to me, I have given you your freedom, but you've turned back to me. Now I have a choice. I will say that you will get opportunity A, but opportunity B, you'll not have a chance to get it. You will get to know A, B, C, D, but X, Y, Z, you're not going to know about it. So you'll find out that, like for instance, there are statistics that say right now 6 out of 10 black males are in prison, right? And one aspect of institutionalized racism is about injustice, social injustice, law injustice, and police brutality. When a black folk gets arrested, he has no right to defend himself. Even if they go to the courts, they have no right to defend themselves. So you'll find that most of them end up in correctional institutions, the jails, right? Instead of these people who are productive to come together, build the black economy and build themselves, no, they don't have the chance in America, but they can get the chance in jail. They get jailed, right? You'll find out that at least 53% of the black families are led by single mothers. These are incomplete families, and all thanks to institutionalized racism, because we know that when a black mom is raising her kids, she will get us take a good chance at the social welfare, right? Dependency. Social welfare is all about dependency, and dependency was brought about by institutionalized racism. Don't get me wrong, right? So a lot of the black people, people in the black community in the US depend on social welfare, which is similar to depending on a slave master for survival, right? They depend on the slave masters for survival, and this doesn't sit right with me. So white people should not condemn black folks for always asking for more, because they are the genesis of the black community problems. These people could not have come to our motherland Africa, captured us and took us as slaves in the Americas, then all this could not be happening. Everyone could be building their own economy, everyone could be building their own country, right? So the white folks, this is just a wake-up call to the human race, because I don't believe in black race, white race, the yellow race. We are a human race. We are all equal. And if we are all equal, then we need to have equal chances and opportunities. So this is a wake-up call to the white folks that they should keep on, they should not keep on complaining about us asking for more, because they are the cause of our problems always. And they should stop this institutionalized racism. And of course, right now, there's a video I did and I was talking about Mr. Donald Trump bringing about the segregation, right? And to my black people, my black folks on the other hand, kindly focus on educating the younger generations to understand their roots and love themselves more, because the moment you start loving yourself is the moment that you realize, oh, this world is a world of abundance. This universe is so huge. I can achieve my potential anywhere and anytime. So thank you, my people, for keeping on supporting me. And I'd like to say that We can have this conversation at a greater depth in the comments. So don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, share, and turn on post notifications so that every time I post a new video, you will be the first person to get to watch it. Thank you. This is Awakened Africa, and I'm your host, Bemu. Peace out.